Caroline is the chairwoman of Fattal, a group that is 130 years old today.
One of my other hats, as you mentioned, is that I'm a founder of Stand for Women. I want a future for our country. I want a future for the world. That how can we support our people?
Is there a specific advice that you would like to give them?
That the world needs 120 years to reach parity. And for the people who think that they don't have anything, they can still make the change.
Another episode of Beirut Dares to Dream with a very, very special and dear guest. A person I'm very glad to call a friend, Caroline Fattal. Hello, Caroline.
Hello, Eddie.
I'm very lucky to have you today, and we are honored by your presence. Caroline is someone who is really creating change every day on so many levels. Caroline is the chairwoman of Fattal, a group that is 130 years old today, and she has a big legacy between her hands, and she will tell us more about it. She's also the NGO and founder, actually, of I Stand for Women, an organization that have been empowering women. So how can we talk about your leadership? How can we understand more about the advocacy you're doing, and how are you preserving this legacy of a company that is 130 years old? We'd love to hear all that about you. We'd love to hear about your early journey. And please, the floor is yours. We're so happy to have you here.
Thank you, Eddie. Thank you. I want to thank you and BDD. It's very important for me to be part of a podcast where we're mentioning that Beirut dares to dream, because this is a city we all love, and that's why when you contacted me, I said yes with all my heart, because living in Lebanon for many of us is filled with a lot of hope and sometimes despair, and so we definitely want to dream, and I want to dream with you. So let's see how we can do that today. So my story, I can tell you about my professional hats. I have today, as you mentioned, 3 professional hats. The first one is that I'm the chairwoman of a family-owned business, which I'm a 4th generation member, first woman to be chair of the board of directors. And yes, it's a huge legacy because we are, in a few years, we're going to be 130 years old.
Wow.
And yes, and to survive 130 years in this region, it's definitely something we can share. We can share some stories about. One of my other hats, as you mentioned, is that I'm a founder of Stand for Women, which is an NGO dedicated to women's economic empowerment. Because what's very important for me is that every woman can have the independence to choose whatever she wants to do in life. And it comes with her financial independence. And so her economic empowerment. We will talk about this for sure. And the third hat is that, yes, I'm passionate about leadership development. What makes a leader?
I can use this kind of skills that you have.
Yeah, hopefully. And so what makes a successful leader? What is specific about leaders in the Middle East? And so I coach leaders, senior executives, through many business schools, and I have also my private clients. And this I never stopped doing since like 15, 16 years I'm a coach, because I love meeting people, I love understanding challenges and see what unites us all actually.
How do you manage? Like, you have so many hats, and I suppose you have a family as well too.
I do have 4 children, yes.
Wow,
three girls and a boy. They are between 12 years old and 21 years old, yes.
And what is the key of success? How do you manage to be managing to be successful under all those hats?
I just think it's sometimes being kind to oneself, because we put so much pressure on ourselves about trying to do everything at once. And sometimes we have to give priority to few things and some other times to other things. I have wonderful children who are really understanding. And I think from one side, because of my different responsibilities, they miss me a lot. But from another side, I hope I inspire them. So
they are lucky to have you, I'm sure, and they are very happy to call you mom at the same time of the other thing that you do. So tell me more, what is special about Argentina? What was the experience you acquired there, and why did you decide to come back to Lebanon? Argentina is an amazing country.
Yeah.
And
yeah. So I have to take you one episode before.
Of course.
Which is that at 18 years old, I lost my father. And losing a father at an early age is something that I think shaped me till today. And, you, in a way, lose with him the safety, this feeling of, having someone supporting you. And so I realized, Caroline, okay, you have to be able to bounce back. Whatever life throws at you. And I said, okay, I loved Spanish. I still do. I speak Spanish. And I thought, okay, Spain is too close to understand who I am.
Let's go further.
Let's go further. Argentina at that time, I was 23 years old, was a safe country, the safest country. It's not anymore, unfortunately. It was the safest country in Latin America because I had job offers in Venezuela, in Colombia, but for my mom, who was a sole parent at that time, let her daughter go to Latin America. So Argentina was something that, was more acceptable. Going to Argentina was like finding myself, I knew no one. I had no contacts.
Sort of initiatic travel.
Yes, exactly. Working in Spanish. I mean, I had worked in French, in English. And, Argentina is a place where it's said that every Argentinian has a therapist, Argentinians are very cool about saying that they go and, they have sessions and things like that. So I think it was really a journey to myself. Argentina is an amazing country. Okay. I mean, beautiful. It has, from the south, you have, all the Les Glaciers, all the snow, and you have Iguazu Falls. So, I mean, I had a lot of wonderful time with nature, and making new friends. And I learned who I am. I mean,
so it started kind of a healing
somehow.
Where you wanted to find yourself after this big thing.
Not having a family name that people know, just being who yourself. I am, and starting from scratch. I think, it was a kind of soul searching, and I think it has followed me till today and probably will follow me till the rest of my life.
So soul searching has been... recommend us to go to Argentina to find ourselves?
What I learned is that you can make soul searching
anywhere.
Under your hat. You don't need to go very far. But at that time, I think I needed to cut a lot of cords. And
Sure. And if your dad, since you talked about him today, would come and for a day and see you today, what would be the biggest achievement you can tell him about, or what would his reaction be seeing you achieving all the things that you achieved today?
So you brought tears to my eyes, First, I think the people who leave us are always with us in a different form. I call that, and I learned this in a book called Signs, they cross in another place, okay? But I think they are here. So every day I know he's here and he sees me, and I hope he's proud.
He definitely is.
Thank you. The journey to becoming true to myself, to owning all that I am in my light and my darkness, I think that's what makes him proud.
Wow. So real, so genuine, and not like overthinking about things, because leading a fourth generation company and seeing you are today is something definitely that is dear to his heart wherever he is. What about the challenges? How can we make the change to see more leaders and women leaders everywhere, in new boards, in the elections, in the political sphere? It's something very important. So how can we think of how doing the change in the private sector, but at the same time, how can we inspire others also in the public sector? Because I know you're very vocal, you're a big advocate of doing this change, working for women. You talk about women empowerment, it's freedom, it's independence, but it's also finding ourselves, like each person achieving itself. So this is very important in our country, especially with all the challenges that Lebanon is facing. So how do you manage to do that, and how can we succeed with it?
Every one of us can make a change, even if it's only in his family and couple of friends. So, because when I started Stand for Women in 2017, some people told me, oh wow, but Caroline, you're not going to change the world. My ambition was not to change the world. I hope one day we all can together, but at least you can change things, for me, one woman at a time. This is one. So every one of us has the power to change things within his own community. Because I know today it's so difficult to surrender to despair, to say the world is chaotic, nothing works, the country is not going in the right direction, or whatever. And if we surrender, nothing will change. Each one of us can change 2-3 people around him or her. So that's the idea. Stand for Women. I had been nominated by Forbes Middle East as one of the top 100 Arab women in business in 2014, 2015, and I said, okay, so if it's just to be in a ranking and I'm not going to make anything out of that, no. And so I said, okay, I want to help other women. So Stand for Women was created, and till today, the numbers of women inclusion in every sector are really bad.
Very low.
Very low. You can see the women ministers, the women in parliament, the women chairwoman, the women CEOs.
Councils.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not a Lebanese problem. It's a world problem. I don't know if you saw, but Lulu Khazen, she posted the cover of a magazine at IT. They were putting the 30 top IT people, I think, in the Gulf. It was 30 men. And so she said, is this possible that there are no women in the technology sector that can be at least one in this cover? So till today, there are biases. Till today, people don't realize the importance. And why am I saying this? It's not a fairness thing or a society thing. It's an economic thing. When there is more women included in companies, the return on investments are better.
Of course.
When there are more women included in peace processes, there is more likely chances that the peace process will come to terms. There are many statistics that say that when women are included, things really change. And it's because also we are half of the population, our voice needs to be heard at the tables. It's still hard. You know, when I started, someone said, and I'm going to say it in Arabic and translated, هيدي كارولين فاتال بدنا نكسر لها جوانها.
Oof. Someone in the company said that.
So this Caroline Fattal, we're going to break her wings.
Wow.
So to tell you that also, women who are and I was early in my career, I was not chairwoman at that moment, but there is something around women who have a potential to be in a position of power. They I don't know, there is...
they envy you? What was the problem? Like they felt jealousy that you were very effective and they didn't want
But
someone...
it's not only specific to me. I know many women face this,
okay.
So
as a woman, since you're talking, whether it's in the company or with Stand Up for Women, what are the challenges that you've been facing? This is clearly one of them. Like, what other kind of challenge is something that you see that is very recurrent in different organizations as well?
Yeah, so sometimes many women tell me that when they go to meetings and they might be the most senior person in the room, but if no one knows, for example, they come with a man, and people immediately talk to the man as if she was the number two. I think finding our voice, daring to speak also. Many times women I know are asked to talk in podcasts or in panels, and it's something that's difficult still for many of us. And so
it's important.
Yeah, exactly.
To raise the voice and talk about it. For us it's very normal. We tend to forget that it happens, because for me it's very normal. Women, as you said, is 50%, and for me it's even more than 50%. We respect each person. So seeing that even on those level or at any level this happened is something that we need to talk about and to advocate for it more.
And so we did in Stand for Women recently, some active. So what do? We do either in Beirut, and we'll talk about it after the Beirut explosion. We did the Marian Fund. I will come to that. But now, these days, we are doing a lot of work in rural areas.
Okay.
And we did, for example, an activity of teaching women about sewing and about mooning in Akkar.
Nice.
And because we understood that in Akkar, women need to work from home. There is not much flexibility.
Vulnerable areas.
Yes, sometimes the children are not at school, and the husbands would take them to the training center and stay at the door for the whole training to make sure that they are really being in the training and not doing something else. And so for us, it was important to fill these women with confidence, with tools they can do from home. They can create revenue from it to put their children at school, to make some income, to raise this family. And so for me, every woman that we help realizing her dream and helping her children also grow and become citizens, empowered citizens, is important. So we're doing the same in Zahli, teaching embroidery, and also at the same time we couple these trainings with gender-based violence trainings, for example. And so one woman came at the graduation and she told me, "Thank you. Through this gender-based violence training, I was able to help a neighbor." And so for me, if one woman knows how to stand against someone that's beating her or that's... Also, I have achieved,
I'm sure it's more than one. This
journey.
One came and dared to talk to you, but I'm sure others got inspired and did the same without maybe coming and talking to you. So, Caroline, I stand for women because you are standing for women at some point. Does it come from the fact that you saw in your daily life, at work, a lot of things happening with you, and you were asking yourself, if this is happening with me, it's also happening with all the women? Was this the root of how you started I Stand for Women?
In the sense that when I started my career, I hope it has changed now for women, young ladies, etc., but not so much. I was the only woman I was the only woman sales director for Unilever, for example, in the Middle East, Africa, Pakistan area.
It's a multinational that should
yes,
have much more.
I'm talking 25 years ago. You see me in the picture, look, one woman, 30 men around, you know.
It's crazy how things change.
Yes.
Even for us 25 years ago, like it's something, it should be normal. And with a multinational, and we're seeing that you were alone in the thing.
And then I met a woman, she is still an executive coach. She's called Penina Thompson. And she wrote a book, A Woman's Place is in the Boardroom. Okay, because popular thinking says that the woman's place is in the kitchen or a woman's place is in her house. I don't know. It's also the case, but she can also be in the boardroom. And Penina showed me the global statistics. She was kind of a mentor. She showed me the global statistics.
Numbers speaks.
Yes. And so from that moment, I said, okay, if I can change the number at my small scale, I'm going to do it. Yeah, so it was both a personal experience and seeing what's happening in the world and being a voice for change.
And like, was there in your personal, like in your career, a time where you said to yourself, it's enough, this is too much for me, I cannot take it anymore? Did you feel like giving up at some point, seeing all the challenges happening?
Usually challenges give me more stamina. I mean, when we had, for example, the recent war in Lebanon, I thought, how can we support our people? In Group Fattal, we had more than 250 people displaced and everything. And so being next to them, supporting them. So usually it's like that. Now, we Stand for Women. It's an NGO that I fund in the vast majority myself because this is my return to the community, etc. But at some stage, we thought with the team, it's not sustainable if it's only me. I mean, that's funding this because it has to have sustainability. And so for the first time this summer, we decided to do a fundraising event. And it was for us a big stretch because, we're not a big NGO and it was our first one. And so I think for me, learning to ask for help and say, okay, I can't do this anymore on my own, and I need you, and if you're interested in this cause, I'll join. And so we had a wonderful party at the sporting club with Kalin Chidia as a DJ. We managed to raise some funds for the NGO, and I hope...
It was a fun party.
It was, exactly. It was so much fun.
The whole Instagram was pictures
filled
of
with
this.
us, yes. So, we said, okay, let's make it fun. I mean, yes, it's about the cause, but let's make it fun. And at the same time, as you know, organizing things in this country, 1 month before it was, we had this 20 days war and we didn't know, are we crazy to launch? And so it's this constant thing about, how to be resilient at the same time, how to be adaptable and flexible.
So based on this experience, what gives you hope about the future of women in Lebanon? Like, do you feel like things are moving forward? Are you seeing some small successes? You gave me this example of this lady in Akkar. But let's say on board level, there are many managerial posts that women are taking normally, and we shouldn't even be talking about. But as you said, this podcast is about you, it's about the work. So do you feel confident that things are changing, or we need to push things in Lebanon more?
Things are changing. There are a lot of initiatives. It's something that is spoken about. There is a program, for example, to develop women on boards at the Institut de la Finance et de la Gouvernance. So there are already many women board ready that can enter the boardroom. So yes, there is many initiatives to support women in rural areas, etc. And not only in Lebanon, McKinsey made a global study and they said that to reach parity, we need 120 years. And in Lebanon, most probably the same. No, this is not possible. We've crossed some bridges. I mean, every time that there is an election, we are counting how many women in the parliament there is, or how many women in municipality elections are, or how many women ministers have been nominated. I think there is also tracking that we are only 23% women in the workforce in Lebanon. It's still very low. Many initiatives like the ones we do and many other initiatives are happening, like training women to be board ready at the Institut de la Finance et de la Gouvernance. Yet, it's not enough. I don't want us to be like what McKinsey is saying, that the world needs 120 years to reach parity.
Wow.
If Lebanon needs 120 years, it's not even my children who will see that, neither yours. So it's like appalling. Very important thing in this is man allyship, and because in many conferences, it's women-only conferences, not because only women are invited, but because, I don't know, for some reason, men don't feel included in this dialogue. And it's very important that men are included, that men understand, that men support, and this is, I think, the next chapter of this.
Maybe a new initiative, Understand for Women, Man Stand for
Voilà.
Women, having more men doing the same work that you're doing.
Yes.
This is super important.
It's called, UN Women call them the he for she.
Okay.
It's like the man who stand for women and who understand that if there is no all voices around a table, then you're missing.
I'm your biggest advocate. Please tell me what to do. I'm ready to do it. And I always said, if we had not more, I'm fully not, I don't want even gender equality. I really need, if we can get more women everywhere, I think it's a solution for a lot of our problems in this world.
So we will definitely invite you.
Inshallah. Caroline, so if I go back to your dreams, your personal ones, Caroline, the deep desire that you might have to express, or something that you say, if I didn't have all those responsibilities, this is something that I would do. What would it be?
A role of mine, or a part of me that maybe you don't know, is that I love dancing.
Nice.
Okay, so
this is why you were in Argentina.
So by the way, I didn't know, but I think that's where I caught it. I started to dance tango there. And so if I were not a chairwoman or NGO founder or an executive coach,
you would be dancing.
I would be a ballroom dancer.
Nice.
Dancing, by the way, and couple dancing is a very complicated story because it's a mix of leading and surrendering. So at the beginning, because since early age I had to take a lot of responsibilities, I wouldn't accept to be led, and that the man leads me in the dance, and it's very, very difficult to surrender, and vice versa. How the emotions, how to feel the other person, dancing is really a great metaphor.
So you were leading or surrendering?
Well, sometimes I wanted to lead, and it was not my time to lead.
Change it.
Yes, so I had to adapt, and it was not easy.
Even in dance, no, it's nice. I think it's a new way, an innovative way to change the way we perceive dance as well. Yeah. What about on the level of Lebanon, let's say, if we want to dare to dream, if we want to dare of thinking of how can we improve things? Do you see yourself as a minister? Someone proposed to you, a prime minister come and Caroline, I love your work. I want you to become minister in my cabinet. Would you take this? Would you dare to take this?
What we do when we work with our communities is what ministers should do.
100%.
So in a way, I'm a minister without the title, in the sense that I'm trying to change the things in my community, whether through the NGO, whether through the company. I'm having the chance to let's say be the chairwoman, and so that's how being at service to society and to the community is. So
would you dare to accept such a responsibility? I know you're doing much more than a minister, to be honest, but when it comes to go to a ministry, to a government, to become a public servant, is this something that you'd like to see?
I love my country. Mm-hmm. I love Lebanon, and many times in my life I had to be unplugged, unrooted, and this is something that really has been very emotional, very disturbing. So if I'm asked, I think I will think of it seriously.
Okay. We'll advocate and we'll lobby for you from now on. Because I believe personally.
But it's not for the title, it's just for the impact.
I believe if you were a minister, any kind of portfolio, I'm sure you'd do amazing stuff. So hopefully we'll see you one day, because we need more people like you leading in this country and doing the change we want to see. So now I'll go.
But we don't need the titles to make the change.
No one needs the title. It's more like doing the thing and having the right person at the right on the right place. So now if we come to think of your biggest fear, so if we come to think about the future, what would be your biggest fear and what would be your hope for the next generation? I
see the world today and our country fighting between light and darkness, I'm talking now about more spiritual views.
Is it Lebanon or the world or both?
Both. I would love light to win.
We all want light to win.
The people who have the light within, the people who think they can change for a better society, have not gathered enough, in the sense that we are scattered and we underestimate what we can do when we are all together. So I want a future for my children. I want a future for our country. I want a future for the world that where there is much more things that unite us than things that divide us.
Is there a specific advice that you would like to give them? Is there something that comes to your mind where you say, you know what, be careful, this is something important, work on it?
No, I would say never think you're too small. Never think you're too weak.
Nice.
Never think you're too vulnerable. Never think because these actually are the people who change everything. So for people who are more privileged, it's our duty to make a change. And for the people who think that they don't have anything, they can still make the change. And the idea is, how can we unite all together?
So in 3 words, you're telling them dare to dream.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm here.
Perfect. And so something else. Let's talk about who would be the people that inspire you the most, or your most inspirational person you learned from, or you got inspired, whether it's in Lebanon or the world. Is there like a person or someone you look up to, or you say to yourself, this is a person I learned from, and I would love to do more things like.
So I have a nice exercise.
Yes.
And I'm going to say it so people can do it for themselves. It said that you can have your personal boardroom. Okay. Caroline has a board. Caroline has a board. Who she wants to sit on her board.
Nice.
Okay, so you, for example, Eddie, you can have people who are alive or who have passed. I mean, you can decide who you want in your personal boardroom.
I love it.
You like it? Do you have names already?
I'm trying to think of it. I think it's a very good exercise.
Voilà, so I'm saying this to the audience. In my personal boardroom, I have put Oprah Winfrey.
Wow.
Yes. I have put Jacinda Ardern. Okay, Oprah, everyone knows. She's like a woman who went from scratch and being abused in abusive relationships and everything to becoming a TV host that has been tremendous and who, has touched people from the heart in her interviews. She changed the way people were interviewed on TV, etc.
I want to join your virtual board.
I
would love to be in your mind just to meet all those people.
So I put Oprah. I put Jacinda Ardern, the previous Prime Minister of New Zealand. Because she managed crisis.
She was amazing.
She was empathic. She was, for me, a kind of extraordinary leader in politics.
I fully agree.
Yeah. I put, Vishen Lakiani. Do you know him? He's the founder of Mind Valley.
Okay.
Mind Valley is an app of self-help.
Okay.
And I think he has put self-help into technology. And I am a follower of Mind Valley, and I follow whatever they do and him. And I think he really changed the way self-help is done.
I'm going to download the app.
Yes, voilà, exactly. And finally, Richard Branson.
Nice.
Because for me, he's an entrepreneur. He's, and he made it with a lot of fun and breaking barriers and creative. And he lives on this wonderful island still, and he's growing beautifully. And
so, do you talk to them frequently?
No. So sometimes I say, okay, if I call this boardroom, what would they say about this situation? And who can stop me? You can add.
It's a very nice idea. I will try to do the same exercise. Voilà. I have a virtual board that I can talk to. Yeah. Amazing idea.
And then, to be more down to earth and in Lebanon, because it's about Beirut Dares to Dream, a woman that I admire is Mayel Khalil.
She's the founder. A BDD community member as well.
Absolutely. And she's the founder of Beirut Marathon. And it came from a severe accident that she could have been paralyzed for the rest of her life. And then she decided no. And when you go to the marathon, it's like such a wonderful ambiance. It's Lebanon at its core. All communities, all ages, all genders, big, small, under the rain, under the sun, running for Beirut.
We salute her for the amazing work that she's doing. Yeah. Like she's the spirit of the nation, making sure that every year we're all running together.
Exactly, yes.
I cannot finish, we cannot close actually this discussion without offering you a wish bracelet.
Oh, wow.
It's inspired by the Live Love ones. You know them really well.
Yeah, of course. It's the beginning of your story.
Exactly. Yes. So if you have to choose, let's say, like if you have to wish for something, you don't have to tell us. Maybe you can keep it for yourself, but you can also tell us about if there's something that is dear to you, to your heart, that you'd like to wish for. We can say it. The personal one, you keep it to yourself, but the one that you'd like to see for the nation, for Lebanon, a wish that you would love to see it coming true, and maybe we can work together on making it happen, whether it's Live Love, BDD, or a stand for women. So is there a wishful thinking or a wish that you'd like to see while putting this bracelet on your hand?
So, spirituality is something that it's a big question for me.
Can I help you?
Yes. Thank you. And for me, spirituality is above religions, you know, and so we can all be choose the religion we want, but at the end we are spiritual beings, and I wish that this spiritual part of us gathers us as Lebanese, because we can be from many different religions or thoughts or gender or whatever, but that the spiritual thing to move forward unite us, because actually we have such an amazing country and we are blessed, and all together we can change things. I am for deep listening, releasing a lot of traumas. We've lived so many traumas. There is so much work to do with a lot of love, a lot of joy, and huge dreams. I really believe we can create the Lebanon that we like, with people of good faith, people who put all their beliefs in more the spiritual realm rather than I hold on to, you know, my color or my...
And if we have to close in one sentence, let's say, because we have this tradition where we close it with, I will dare to. Yeah. What would Caroline say? I will dare to what?
Me, what I will dare to, what I commit to, is to continue to be true to myself.
Nice.
True to myself.
Daring to be true to myself every day.
Yeah.
Big promise.
It's a big undertaking, because it's not easy.
Yes, it's not easy
because you spend all your life listening to what people want from you, what the dreams they have for you, you want to please everyone and tick all the boxes, and then at some stage you start to unfold and say, what is really the true me? And from that place of truth self, you can really make the deep changes.
Caroline, I wish from all my heart for you to stay and become more who you are.
Thank you.
To continue to be true to yourself. We love you as you are. And I think a lot of people love seeing you, are being inspired by what you're doing in a very extraordinary way every day. Thank you for all this work. Thank you for the tremendous efforts that you put in everything that you endeavor with, and we are lucky to have you. And I'm lucky to have you as a friend, and I'm sure that you have me as a big advocate for anything that you're doing.
Thank you, Adi. Thank you for all the team who's behind the scenes, who has made this happen. It's a moving moment for me, because really daring to dream is what we all want. So, thank you.
Écoute, merci Caroline, du fond du cœur.
Merci beaucoup.